After 3 miscarriages, the house had become a place of quiet dread. Every corner seemed heavier than the last, every laugh a little too forced. I didn't speak much, not because I wanted to, but because words had failed me. They had left me hollow and wary. My husband tried to comfort me, but I could see the tension in his eyes, the same tension mirrored in mine. Something was off, I knew it even if I couldn't name it. It started with small things. Missing items, things moved from their usual places. A photograph turned face down on the dresser, a box of my prenatal vitamins gone. I told myself it was paranoia. Hormones, grief, exhaustion. But the unease lingered, curling in my chest like smoke that wouldn't leave. One night I finally acted. I installed a hidden camera in the living room, not to spy, but to catch the moments I couldn't explain. I told myself it was for closure, a way to understand the small tremors of unease that had become my daily companions. The first few hours were ordinary. My mother-in-law came over as usual, chatting about recipes, chores, her voice light, almost cheerful. But the camera caught moments no one saw. The way her eyes lingered on the nursery, the way her hands fidgeted with items that weren't hers. A glance here, a touch there, nothing I could have called attention to. And yet, the sense of something hidden, something deliberate, gnawed at me. Then, on the 3rd day, the footage shifted everything. I watched, heart hammering, as she moved closer to the crib, whispering, and reaching for the small things I had carefully arranged. My hands trembled, but I stayed silent, letting the camera capture everything. I rewound the footage again and again, each time catching details I had missed the first pass. The way she handled my things, gentle, almost reverent at first, then deliberate, precise, as if she had a purpose no one else could see. My stomach churned, a mixture of fear and disbelief. Could it really be happening? Could someone I trusted so implicitly be the source of my grief? The next day, I confronted myself with the evidence, not her. I needed clarity before action. Every frame told the same story. Small, almost imperceptible actions that added up to something far darker than negligence or forgetfulness. The way she tampered with my supplements, the subtle shifting of objects in the nursery, the way she lingered when no one was watching, it all pointed to something calculated. My husband noticed my tension, asked me if I was overthinking, but I couldn't tell him, not yet. There was a strategy to uncovering the truth, and rash confrontation could ruin everything. I continued filming, documenting every visit, every whispered word, every touch. Each video was a thread, and slowly a pattern emerged, a map of betrayal hidden beneath the veneer of care. Then came the moment I could no longer ignore. I watched as she lifted the small vial of medication I relied on, held it for a heartbeat too long, and replaced it with something I couldn't immediately identify. The scene was silent, almost mundane, but the weight of intent was unmistakable. It wasn't accident. It wasn't carelessness. It was deliberate, and it was aimed at me. My hands shook as I turned off the camera, not from shock, but from recognition. I had known something was wrong. Now I knew how wrong it had been. The quiet suffocation of betrayal settled over me like a storm about to break. I had all I needed, the truth raw and undeniable. The next morning I confronted her, not with anger, not with accusation, but with the undeniable truth. I played the footage, each movement, each whispered word, each deliberate act exposed on the screen. My mother-in-law froze, her carefully constructed composure cracking in an instant. She opened her mouth, but no explanation could undo what had been captured, what had been revealed. My husband's eyes widened, shock and disbelief mixing with a slow realization. The person we trusted most, who had been woven into our lives like family, had become the architect of my grief. I stayed calm, letting the evidence speak louder than I ever could. The silence that followed was heavy, crushing, but necessary. It was truth unfiltered, raw, and final. In that moment, I understood the power of observation, of patience, of documenting reality before confrontation. Justice wasn't loud. It wasn't explosive. It was quiet, deliberate, and unavoidable. The relief, the vindication, the sense of control I had thought lost, returned. The house felt different after that. Lighter, clearer, though scars remained. I knew I had protected myself, my peace, and my future. And in the quiet moments afterward, I felt a strange, fierce gratitude, for clarity, for foresight, and for finally reclaiming the life I thought had been stolen from me.